Hello and welcome to Beyond the Pole. I have Zeus, a wonderful therapy dog, and I also have Paul, who's known as Bailey in the house. We've had a very eventful week all over, especially in Rochester. The weather was absolutely ridiculous with insane windstorms that caused a lot of devastation that the area hasn't completely recovered yet with the power. One of my very close friends was brutally murdered. It was just a lot of excitement, not all really good stuff, but we found ways to make it humorous and get along with it all. But I on last week's show was really rough, and I really wasn't emotionally ready, and I probably shouldn't have been on the air. It was really devastating, but my friend Shar was horribly murdered, and by a guy who was released off parole, and he literally beat her to death with a wine bottle. And she was very close, and she was one of my dancer idols. I worked with her for years. She featured. A lot of people knew her as Stax and Brittany in the area. She worked with me at the Mirage. She worked at 24 Carat in Buffalo. She worked at Mademoiselle Pharaoh's, pretty much everywhere. Went all over Canada. Everyone loved her. She was such a wonderful person. And because it was her real name and her hair is dark in the photo, a lot of customers and people didn't realize who she was. And when they did find out, more and more people kept outreaching. And it was just an absolute tragedy. I was at her wake, and it was on Wednesday in the middle of the nightmare of all the storms and everything. And I made it up, and I didn't realize how devastated the area was with missing power. And it was pretty different. The clubs were operating, if they were open, on generators, and some places didn't have heat. Some people tried resolving problems on their own. At Playmates in Byron, the dumpster actually blew out into the street, and garbage was just all over the place. There were farm animals running loose into the streets. It was pretty wild, but I really am devastated about the Shard thing, but handling it in a beautiful way. We decided that we are going to donate to the Strong National Museum of Play, and they have at the Butterfly Conservatory area where they have the shows where you can do stuff in memory and honor. And we're collecting money and funds, and we are going to take and do something just incredible and release butterflies and have her picture there. And everything I'm making right now is going to that. We're raising money, and it's going to be wonderful. And on the back of her cards at the wake, too, it had butterflies, and it was something she always loved. And I love butterflies, and she was a beautiful person. And I really want everyone to remember that, because this was horrific, and this should never happen, because this girl actually worked so hard and had a legit game plan and was a businesswoman and danced for a legit cause. She actually had rental properties, built it up. She helped me learn how to run my business better, and explains, like, you don't want to do this forever. You got to figure out and out and what to do. And she worked and got herself the liquor store, and we all watched her at the Mirage and Classy Cat in Rochester. And it was amazing. And for her to end up with such a horrifying death, it's actually sickening in a cruel way of irony that she was actually beaten in her own liquor store with a bottle of wine, because she did love wine and alcohol. It'd almost be comparable to myself being beaten to death with a bottle of Jägermeister, which would be just absolutely absurd. But, how do you feel about that, Paul?
Well, sorry to hear about your loss. It's terrible. And as some of you might know, I have a background 10 years as a case manager in the mental health field, and I was looking through this article here. I was seeing that the guy that committed the crime, they listed his home as the residence of the state grounds of the Rochester Psych Center.
Yeah.
Now, a few things I'll comment about this. If he obviously was coming out of jail and then going and had psych problems, he was clearly given medications in jail, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, and then if he's going to, because I've worked out at like Buffalo Psych Center and stuff, going to those places, sometimes the clients can go in and out, sometimes they can't. They're also given meds. And I know a lot of people always want to blame the mental health field. The bottom line is even the most psychotic clients that we've had still know some right from wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why I want some people to realize, when I look at that in perspective, everybody always just wants to blame, the mental health field, it failed. Well, you can't, the mental health field can't always force people to take their meds anyways, unless they're in a hospital and in there for a while. Medication over objection is very hard to go. Number two, even with the perfect meds, some clients that could be schizophrenic or are just plain dangerous anyways and have delusions that never go away. 3, he was going after liquor and stuff, so he had alternative motives getting out of jail. The whole thing's sad and terrible, but this guy made a choice to do this horrific thing, and he'll be tried as such, unfortunately. So you always got to look at people's behaviors, because I know always people want to jump. It's the mental health system failed. Well, it may not have failed. Possibly the legal system failed.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying on the prison release and stuff, that they're really enraged about it. And I think they definitely should start screening people who are released from prison better than they are.
For him to do it that quick. So it's sad and tragic, but it was just something I noticed in looking in your article there when it listed his address. So
so like I said, we found the best way that we could think of to just show and express beauty in a positive way that everyone can enjoy and appreciate, and our daughter and family can go, and it'll be wonderful, and something positive too for Rochester. It's a beautiful museum and a cause. But we have a song that you picked, which is great, and we had a fun car ride up. Zeus was a little excited. He kept jumping around. I think he wanted to get in my lap, but we're gonna go into this song, and then we'll discuss why he picked it next. Welcome back to Beyond the Pole with your host Katrina Lee from Hustler, and we have Bally in the house. And he selected this song by The Cars, My Best Friend's Girl. Why don't you tell us why?
It's just hilarious. I bought the Best of the Cars CD. I have, in my SUV, I have the XM radio, and the Cars come on a lot. And I realized they got a lot of real good songs. So I actually bought the Best of the Cars CD. And that song just cracks me up when I picture Zeus dancing to it. And with me, and I don't know, my ADHD, or I get a little obsessed, I'll play it like 6 times in a row. And
I'm the same way. I like repetitively
I've
do
left
stuff.
the car on for the XM radio so I could go back and play the same song like 3 times, and so I probably wasted a lot of gas over the last year doing it. But if it was like a song I liked, but it just, I don't know, puts you in kind of a happy mood. It cracks me up.
Yeah, I love it. I love quirky music. I was actually at Partners in Erie, Pennsylvania. I've been going down for years. I sell clothes and I go all around Erie. And one of my favorite people in the world who's listening and listens every week, Cameron, her real name is Bettina. She's awesome. She's a survivor and everything, and her fiance passed away due to an incident, kind of drug related and health induced, and she's really struggled to come along, and she's doing great, and she's just a riot. And we were actually like fooling around and doing the Jitterbug by Wham and the Freddy and everything, and 80s is retro night down there, so it's just hysterical. Okay. So it's just a good time, and it's a whole nice crowd of people, and it was a good time. And I want to remind everyone that we have a campaign going on. It's called Not Just a Pretty Face, and we're collecting makeup and hygiene products, and we're going to have places all over collecting for us, and it's going to different centers and prison outreach programs, halfway house. This week is actually going to the Family Justice Center in Buffalo, because they helped me out huge last week. I had a major problem with my ex, and they really stepped up to plate, and I feel much more safer in life right now, and I definitely want to help out there this week. And then we do have a decent amount. So collect all the stuff you can, any makeup. If you don't know what to buy because you're a guy, you can gladly give money. I'm going to probably set up a GoFundMe account on Facebook, and then we'll just purchase and pick up the items ourselves. And we're on the 25th. It's a Saturday. There's going to be a sexy superhero party at Playmates in Byron, New York. I'm thinking I can be Poison Ivy and just, go for it. But I have a little store now inside it with dancer clothes and toys, and I took over the case, and it's a full nude club. It's no alcohol, 18 and over. It's in the country. It's in the middle of nowhere, but it's a great group of girls. It's like a family. The owner is amazing. The customers are just really nice, friendly people. There's really no fights, no drama. And we're going to be collecting makeup at that event. So that'll be a good time. I know you have some events and stuff you're aware of currently.
Yeah, actually, for that event, can I show up in my Wonder Woman outfit, even though I'm not dancing?
It would be fun. You could be a judge. You're going to have prizes for customers. It always encourages girls, when you're paying and spending money in a costume, usually they want something to be rewarded. It's you can get superhero outfits everywhere. I mean, just walk into Spencer's, there's like 5,000 of them. I mean, it's so easy. It can be anything,
Yeah, I have some just as for Halloween costumes or some acts and stuff. I have a Princess Leia slave girl, and then I was Wonder Woman one year. I was Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. It's just kind of funny.
It's just goofy and everyone laughs. I know Lindsay, who actually works for you at Extraordinary Entertainment, she won Miss Erotic the one year, and she was Captain America, and she made the outfit herself, and she did a fabulous job. And those girls who kind of put forth the effort in our industry, there's a lot of really creative, talented people that you would never know. And it's kind of unique to find out. And a lot of us, including myself, obviously, are quite crafty.
Yeah, I like costumes and good entertainers. And speaking of, with Extraordinary Entertainment, we did 2 awesome stags. I bounced this weekend, and it was funny because I had my own show to do on a limo bus. And then I had to be at Niagara Falls for this other show not soon after, and there was going to be a time issue. Well, the girls in the limo bus were nice enough. They were going to park it at the Erie Basin Marina, which wasn't near me. They were nice to come to my area in Tonawanda, and we parked it outside of Big Lots.
Oh, that's great.
And the way we worded it is I showed up in my cop act, and went on there and was like, hey, open container, you're not supposed to be drinking in the Big Lots parking lot. And then I handcuffed her.
Oh, that's
it was funny. And law of attraction. And ironically, the bride's name was Ashley. And then we go home. So then I had the 2 dancers, Nikita and Lindsay, meet me, and we went up to Niagara Falls and bounced the stag. But it was funny. So they met me. Excuse me, that was a different one. That was Demi, a new girl. Demi and Nikita. I was so confusing. So, but then yesterday I did a nice show with Lindsay and Nikita, and so it was good wholesome fun. And then Friday night I went and saw my buddy Trinity Turner and at Trist, and she's a phenomenal entertainer. And I got back late Friday, and I'm like, oh, should I go in? Shouldn't I go in? So I sucked it up. I went into the club, and I just made it there for a second show. And she's a phenomenal entertainer, walks around on her hands or whatever. Then she did a second show. She used me in the act. She did a cop act.
Yeah.
So she came in the crowd, handcuffed me, so I got to get handcuffed on stage. And it was funny, and I think I still had visions of her butt in my face because when I left at about 3:15 in the morning, I drove the wrong way home for about 10 miles before I even realized it, and I'm out in West Seneca, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? So, but yeah, Trinity Turner did a awesome job. She's a great feature, nice friend, and I think she's going to be down at Candy's down in Erie, Pennsylvania next week.
Oh, that's cool. Joe is the owner down there, and I've actually been there, and that's a really wild adult kind of playground. They have a Pinocchio with a giant growing penis as a nose, and cop cars you dance in, and swinger shacks. It's bring your own beer, 18 over shower shows, slip and slides, weird trailers, people do dances. They have like nude volleyball and badminton, and it's really different. It's pretty much everything he ever wanted as his own, he created. I never seen a club like that.
Yeah, it looked interesting. When I saw the cop thing, I also thought of Trinity Turner, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of neat, to handcuff the guy getting married, and they have a cop car dance or whatever. So it seemed like a pretty good idea.
Their stage 2 actually has gymnastics bars. So the girls start doing different, really cool stuff on it that you won't see at other clubs because they don't. And so, I mean, if you're not used to that, that's really intimidating. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at these girls. These are really like monkeys now, like professionals, like flipping all around. But
so, and Trinity Turner is very, very good professional, very personable. You don't see any drama on her page.
What did she have what's her Facebook account for fans? Is it like facebook.com/Trinity Turner?
Facebook Trinity Turner, TRINITY Turner.
Everyone like her page and show her some support. And I'm glad you saw her Trist. I really like what they're kind of doing at the club. It's beautiful inside, and I think it's a great thing, and more clubs and more opportunities keep the other ones up to base. So there's none that can allow anything going on, and kind of it's nice. More options and opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what we were talking about kind of earlier, mentioning kind of the prison thing and my friend being murdered, I have never seen so many people overdose or lose someone from heroin in my life this week. There has been at least 500 plus people on my Facebook saying that they lost someone. I do have a lot of people on my Facebook, so my numbers are maybe way higher than the average bear out there. But It's frightening, and I've been telling people this was coming for years, but I watched it starting months ago, and it's being cut with elephant tranquilizers, and it's coming from Detroit, and it's following the drug line up the 90. It's going through Erie, it's in Buffalo, and it's going to start slamming into Rochester not far away if it hasn't yet. And it's frightening. And what you said about the prison is I don't understand how this man was released on parole, because why are we taking addicts who are not harming anyone except maybe themselves, and we're taking them and we're throwing into jail over and over and over, and we're not getting in the right program? I don't believe that drug courts work. I think when you're just going in for 3 days, you're going to go right out and you're going to start a lot of the same problems and this issues. These girls are going away for a month and they're getting out and they don't know how to have income and they're behind. They don't have the lawyer money. They don't know what to do. Their only skills were like dancing. So they go right back to the clubs, get right back to the same vices, and then they're ending up overdosing the second they get it, because that one hit is what's going to push you. And they think they have the tolerance to do the same amount. And that's absolutely frightening. So we really need to have programs that are more effective and working with addicts in a more positive way. The
thing with the heroin, and then there's people, and not just dancers, just people doing
everyone,
it, and you don't even know. And there was a girl like 2 years ago, and she was at one of my parties, and she was actually babysitting the kid next door, and the kids next door, we started talking just as friends, and we were gonna maybe go to the zoo or something. It was like 2 winters ago.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I see like she's died.
Yeah.
And then when you're young and you die and they don't really tell you a reason why, it's usually not good. It's usually a suicide or drug related.
Yeah.
It turns out I found out it was heroin apparently.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew, and she just OD'd. And then I had at my mental health field, I had a client who had a lot of sobriety time. He was doing fine. We got his own apartment. All of a sudden, he's missing an appointment. I call the family. Oh, he died 2 weeks ago, heroin overdose.
Yep.
Like nobody told me. And he was doing fine, but then he gets involved with some girl that just got out of rehab, and then she relapsed.
It's ugly, and they're all slowly pulling each other down, and
yep, and it's
affecting everyone. There's no debate, and it's out of control. I mean, every single epidemic. I don't want to rant on about that because it is constantly on topic, but I'm noticing there's a lot of girls in our industry, the adult industry, are entering not because they want to dance and not even because they're entertainers, but they want that fast, easy money, and it's really drug related. And I would like to help get those girls out, and the whole industry doesn't want them in there. We don't want people overdosing in our building. I think everyone needs to be Narcan certified who's in a club. Every manager should be mandated to have this. This is not being done. I almost want to start a platform in New York for every bouncer or security guard should be forced in every club to be able to do this. I am Narcan certified. I have it. I'm available. I can help anyone that's local in the clubs that I'm at, but I'm one person. I actually found this, and I'm going to post it on our page later, and I really like it, but it says an addict fell in a hole and couldn't get out. A businessman went by. The addict called out for help. The businessman threw him some money and told him to buy a ladder, but the addict could not find a ladder in the hole he was in. A doctor walked by. The addict said, "Help, I can't get out." The doctor gave him some drugs and said, "Take this. It will relieve the pain." The addict said thanks, but when the pills ran out, he was still in the hole. A renowned psychiatrist rode by, but he heard the addict's cries for help. He stopped and said, "How did you get in there? Were you born there? Did your parents put you there? Tell me more about yourself. If you alleviate your sense of loneliness." So the addict talked to him for an hour, and then the psychiatrist had to leave, but he said he would be back next week. The addict thanked him, but was still in the hole. A priest came by and heard the addict calling for help. The priest gave him a Bible and said, "I'll pray for you." The priest got down on his knees and prayed for the addict, then left. The addict was very grateful, and he read the whole Bible, but he was still stuck in that hole. A recovering addict happened to be passing by. The addict cried out, "Hey, help me, I'm stuck in this hole." Right away, the recovering addict jumped in the hole with them. The addict said, "What are you doing? Now we're both stuck here." But the recovering addict said, "It's okay. I've been here before. I know the way out." And it's anonymous. And I think that is so strong and powerful because we have to help each other. And I helped get on this show because of two guys and a girl, and it's a bunch of recovering addicts, and they're making a huge difference all over Rochester. And I want to help make a massive difference for everyone in the adult industry because we need to do this for each other. I'm sure everyone thinks that was a very powerful. It's going to be posted onto the Beyond the Pill Facebook page so everyone can get this. I think it's just unbelievably fabulous. And I think it was so great that we should probably cut into a song so people can think about it. The next song I picked, I'm a huge country fan, and a lot of people don't know this because country isn't really a fan of strip clubs too often. So this is actually Tim McGraw. It's a business doing pleasure with you. Hello, welcome back to Beyond the Pole with Katrina Lee and our co-hosts Bailey and Zeus. Hi, guys.
Hello.
They're wearing matching little Bill's outfits. It's adorable. And I know you're trying to get him a new outfit, but he was a little too small for it to match. So.
I like the Boston Bruins too, and I found a Boston Bruins jersey for him, but I measured him wrong. He had an extra small. Apparently, he needs an extra small for his 5.3 pound body.
Yeah, my dog actually got 3 Bijans, and my little princess is Dirtball, and she's actually obese, and she's a 25-pound Bijan that I've got to start exercising more and put her on a little diet, but she hates clothes. I wish I could dress her up and take her all around, and she's miserable. But my mom, the windstorm was so bad that our attic got damaged, and my mom decided to pull out everything I've ever owned out of the attic, and she's clearly a hoarder. And it was like every outfit I had since I was a kid, and I had this little pound puppy pajamas I used to wear, and then when I got too big, I dressed like my dolls in it. And I saw it, I got all excited, and I put it on her, and just her look of disgust, like, how could you do this to me, Mom? So I actually posted on my Facebook page, which is Katrina Lee. I keep it public because I have so many followers so that everyone can see what's going on. And then I have my other one is facebook.com/Katrina Lee. It's more my modeling pictures and stuff like that and more adult orientated, not so family. I mean, obviously you don't have children going on my Facebook page. That would make no sense at all. Gosh, it's all promotions about strip clubs. I have the store I set up in Playmates in Byron, New York, and I absolutely love it over there, and I'm happy, and we have the superhero party, and Kitty is the owner, and everyone's known her for years around the area, and she worked her butt off to get this club, and I'm really proud of her, and I'm working towards partnering up with her on different levels and stuff with social media and more. And we're going to start doing every month a different party like I used to do at other clubs in the Buffalo area that all goes to like a charity. So there's actually this place that's called the organization, the Pirate Toy Fund in Rochester, New York. And Pirate International Talk Like a Pirate Month is in September. And the one year I had actually 18 different pirate themed parties on that date, and customers could drop off toys for the Pirate Toy Fund, and we donate it. It goes to hospitals and kids who are dying from cancer and everything. And I think it's a wonderful cause, like just absolutely great. Do you have any fun pirate outfits?
Wait. Yeah, I do. But wait, there's an International Talk Like a Pirate Month?
Yes, there's a Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Oh, Talk Like a
Pirate
Pirate
like,
Day.
arr, shivery timbers, and then there's so many crazy perverted jokes you can make with it. It's just great.
I was thinking about doing a pirate act, for my BaileyExoticDancer.com and one of my costumes. I had a request once. They did an all pirate party, and I had an old pirate outfit, and I did do it. And I can always come up with some funny ideas, so I might have to get together with my DJ and come up with a routine for it, and then find a good opening song.
There's a lot of different ones. I saw Misty Rain. She was one of my favorite features from years ago at Mademoiselle. And she had this amazing pirate costume and came out. And there's a lot, especially Pirate Caribbean. It just blew up. So there's like all different pirate themed parties. There's pirate days and stuff. And there's even a pirate museum near Salem, Massachusetts that I went to that was pretty interesting. Pirates of the Caribbean, just, the ride in Disney. It's really easy to get cool costumes and theme it up, without a doubt.
Interesting.
I've been going to all different groups. I went to Unity this week in Rochester, and it's similar to Horizons and Bryland and Buffalo. And I've been getting all different pamphlets and info, and I want to set up a website with all the information, and pretty much the whole area will slowly add on more and more and more as the radio show expands. We got a large listening base. We're going to be eventually going on the road. I'm going to be aggressively going to all different states and areas and talking about the show and handing out pamphlets, because I want to make this show the industry show. It's a way for everyone to talk about things going on, problems we're having, and help people start to understand our issues so that some people can get help, or we're like a little more understood and we're not judged. And I like this one that I got on one. Actually, it was are you a veteran in trouble with the law? And it's VA healthcare in upstate New York, but it says on solutions, and the best way out of a problem is to find a permanent solution. And if you're not good with making decisions and resolving problems, there's a lot of people out there who are willing to help you. And I started some of these centers I called it positive awareness in strip clubs and other places too, where we don't try to force information. We're not telling you need to go to sobriety or anything, but we put pamphlets up on STD, checks, breast cancer, domestic abuse help from different centers, rehab clinics, pretty much anything that might be helpful. Even babysitting services, college, info for applications and stuff, like just anything to empower instead of like attacking, enabling, disabling. We should all be empowering each other and working together and make a difference. People who belittle others for no reason just to hurt them, like there's something wrong with them. It's not us. So when you're calling dancers, like, I'm not even sure if this is the wrong word, but like a hooker, I don't even know if you can say that. I was going to say like WHORE. I'm not sure if that's considered swearing on the station, but like it's not really hurting anyone. You're not affecting us. We don't care. You just sound ignorant yourself. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of girls and people complain about that over the years.
Yeah, or just me as a male dancer. I just created my own Facebook page, business page, Bailey Exotic Dancer, and then I paid for the boost to send it out to all the areas in Rochester. And it was clever. I had an ad with Zeus. I did Zeus with the money, and then I had a few, pictures of me, provocative but not nudity, saying,
it's got to be Facebook okay. So
saying like, hey, hire my daddy for your next stag at or whatever, adorable. Because the more money he makes, the more treat money for me. So it was cute. So it had, it reached so many thousands of people. Of course, you always got to get one. You got to get some girl on there. She rates ill, like on my business page, course. And then her friends support it. Now, normally, I get pretty feisty and upset about that, and I'll be like, "Listen, you cow, look in the mirror," But I learned that because I'm navigating
You're trying
the page.
To have the more professional.
You can just delete the comment.
Yep.
So I just deleted the comment. And I learned, and I also was watching the show the other night called "I Hate Christian Leitner." And it talks about villains, and in pro wrestling or sports, you always have your villains. And so as an exotic dancer, a stripper, we're always seen as a villain. And that, I think, sparks some of that. No matter what, some people are just going to hate your guts if you're a dancer. And
I agree.
They don't know anything about you. They don't know that I love dogs, that I have a good mom, a good family, that I help people, that I'm kind. It doesn't matter. I'm Bailey. I'm a dancer. I must be crap. I must be a scumbag.
Yeah.
I must be on drugs. I must be a thief. I must be dumb.
Exactly. You must not have an education.
Yeah.
You must do this and that. Or you must be sleeping with everyone out there.
Yes.
Maybe even diseased or something.
Yeah. So what I learned is to try not to take some of that so personal. It's their insecurities and their ignorance, and they're having a bad day. And of course, Facebook and some of these things, they can throw it out there without being it face to face to someone because they don't get to see your reaction. And most people won't say those things to someone's face unless you're truly a cruel person.
Yeah.
But most people won't because it's cruel, and second, there could be consequences. So I definitely noticed that people throw that out there, and dancers are the villains.
I do notice, too, that a lot of times then they'll retract or delete that comment when everyone starts to defend. I had a weird incident. My ex started saying all this stuff, and it was right the day that my friend passed away, and it was just horrible and mean and unnecessary, and it's sad because he's a psychopath that I'm going to never know when it's going to end. It's going to randomly come up whenever or he's bored just because that's what they do. And I haven't been letting it affect me at all for a long time. I don't look at his page. I don't care. But everyone else started contacting me and letting me know, and I was already grieving, and I totally ended up drinking and just making matters a little bit worse. It actually ended up better in my favor on Facebook, but I usually try not to do that and not to personally satisfy someone by letting them know that what they said injured and hurt my feelings, because that just almost feeds the problem and it's unnecessary. And I definitely did learn my lesson and will not be doing that. And like you said, drinking doesn't resolve problems. It usually makes them worse when you're in a bad, negative mood. If you're in a good, happy mood and having one or two, that's okay if you can control yourself. When you're getting to the point that you drink an entire bottle of Jaeger and you're crying frantically and scaring the hell out of everyone, that's a mistake. But I kindly changed my phone number to remove a lot of people and negative influences out of my life. And it was probably one of the best things I've done. I'm slowly getting back to everyone and giving them my new number. And, the special people have it right now. And you're one of them.
Yeah, me and Zeus.
I know, my little buddy.
Falling asleep during the show. He's cracking me up, falling asleep here.
I know, we got to give him a little sugar high or something. Get the whipped cream out. No, my dad and my mom and everyone are all in the mental health field, and I'm, their special daughter that's unlike everyone else in the family that tends to drive them nuts. And I have a wild, quirky sense of humor that they don't always necessarily appreciate. But at one point, when incidents were going on with the fighting with my ex, I decided it would be funny to play this song, and my dad was very upset about it. But now we're all laughing, and they're really happy and proud of the show, and everything's on the right path and going well. But the song I picked next is Napoleon the 14th. They're Coming to Take Me Away. It's a hysterical classic song from back in the day, and I hope everyone laughs and enjoys it.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I'd go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha! You thought it was a joke, and so you laughed. You laughed when I had said that losing you would make me flip my lid. Right? You know you laughed. I heard you laugh. You laughed and laughed, and then you left. But now you know I'm utterly mad. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. I cooked your food, I cleaned your house, and this is how you pay me back for all my kind, unselfish, loving deeds. Ha? Well, you just wait, they'll find you yet, and when they do, they'll put you in the ASPCA, you mangy mutt. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, to the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and
Welcome back to Beyond the Pole with Katrina Lee and Bally and our little therapy dog co-host, Zeus, who's in the house. He's adorable, and they're matching outfits. I love it. Our quote this week is actually, "Denial ain't just a river in Egypt," and it's by Mark Twain. And he's local in the area, so everyone's been aware of that. And actually, one of my best friends from when I was younger was a direct descendant of him. So this Meredith, I hope you enjoy that little shout out to you. And, this is a good quote. A lot of addicts and people are even in abusive relationships. A lot of stuff goes hand in hand, or when your life's maybe not going in the most healthy direction, are kind of in denial and don't realize what's going on. And, sometimes you just got to slowly step back and look at the big picture. If things seem repetitively like it's going in the wrong direction, maybe it's time to start turning around to the right direction. I see you're pretty prepared. You got some cool stuff. Is there anything you want to chat about?
As far as me and my ongoing, and I make it public, I don't hide it, but my ongoing battles with major depression and ADHD and that, some of the books I've read, like The Secret, great book.
That's a good book.
Then I read The Power, the second one. I'm kind of reading the book The Magic, and there's a lot of steps and a lot of things you can do, but basically, and people in Buffalo, even if you don't have major depression or whatever, generally in Buffalo, Rochester area, you get more depressed in the winter because there's less sunlight, less vitamin D in your
it's
body.
called seasonal affective disorder. Sad.
And just everything kind of shuts down. And then for me as an entertainer, like my favorite thing to do, dance, that shuts down in the winter.
Yep.
But anyways, there's in the book The Secret, there's sometimes some secret shifters, just a few tidbits I can leave you, like if you're feeling really crappy. One of them on the page says it's impossible to feel bad and at the same time have good thoughts. And then a secret shifter. such as a pleasant memory, nature, your favorite music, like some of the songs we played here,
Yeah.
can change your feelings and shift your frequency in an instant. And I wrote Zeus and Les Dog, who's the dog Leslie, who is my stepdog that I watch. She just cracks me up. She's a funny dog, and Zeus cracks me up. So I take pictures of Zeus and them. I have them all over the house, and I have them in the car. And sometimes if I feel myself really getting irritated or agitated about something, I usually try to shift everything real quick to picturing Zeus's face or something funny. Actually,
positive
with
things.
Trinity Turner, I picture her walking around on her hands doing her handstands. I just find it so funny. It cracks me up. And then I told her once online, I said, you should take a video of you walking into Walmart once on your hands and just do it as a joke. And for whatever reason, that cracks me up. So another shout out for you, Trinity. But that cracks me up. So stuff like that does make me laugh. And, can switch my thoughts from starting to get toxic and angry to better.
Yeah.
Because the law of attraction, the more crappy stuff you think, it seems the more comes, and the more positive,
It's
happy
true.
stuff, the more.
I agree. I had a little rough spatch, and I'm like I said, I feel 100% better. I'm back on my medicine. Everything's going calm. But positivity pays. Like, I notice everyone who's really happy tends to make a lot more in the industry. Like, who wants to get dances with the angry entertainer who's not smiling, having a good time? Saying please and thank you. Customers really appreciate it when you actually care. When they give you $1, say thank you and smile. Like, you're lucky. You should feel lucky that they're, especially as a girl. Like, it's different when you're the guy because there's less options to pick. But when you're competing with like 50, 60 girls in a large club and that guy's picking you out of the other girls, you're lucky. You shouldn't feel like he's so lucky to be near me and stuff. That's a negative attitude, and you're not going to make a lot of money long term with that. And you're not probably going to have regulars, or at least nice regulars, who do sweet things like help you out when there's problems, flowers, or just easier to deal with.
And you should go up, if a guy tips you, even if he's sitting in the front row and he looks built and he might be handsome, you should go up to him and thank him or say hi to him at some point. I mean,
I know,
I'm
right?
Not to toot my own horn, but I generally will tip everybody at least once because I'm also a dancer entertainer.
And you understand, it's the service industry with respect.
Yeah, and they don't usually come up to me a whole lot, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know if they're intimidated or what else.
It might be, or maybe they got the wrong mentality of like search out the ugliest person in the building because they're going to pay the most.
Yeah, I don't know, because generally, unless you don't belong in the business because you have no entertainment value and you look really terrible or a terrible attitude, I'm going to tip you at least $1 each set, minimal, just because I don't have a ton of money, but I'm still going to tip everybody.
Yeah.
Once. So as a thing for any dancers or shot girls, go up to everybody at least once. I used to sell shots at a club. I went up to everybody at least once. When I do a stagette or a party, I go around to everybody at least once, unless they don't want anything to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go where the love is, and that's the people that really like you and the money, so.
Yeah, no, I agree. You kind of have to be careful. There's some people who really don't like it. I had Marty the Midget. He's a male dancer. I don't know if you've been where he is in one of the shows, and I didn't realize my friend was terrified of midgets, and I thought it was funny to give him money to chase her around, but that was probably
Some
cruel.
people have a phobia, real big
it was a
phobia of
really
that.
bad phobia,
Yeah.
and it was probably not the nicest thing to do. I thought it was funny at the time we were all drinking, but she really was genuinely afraid. She was terrified.
Yeah, some people have phobias of like cats. Like I've had some friends with cat and they freak out.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I never even knew that. I just knew allergies. Maybe
Yeah,
in
allergies,
cats,
but
I
I've
never
seen some
thought of a
people
phobia. Yeah,
have major phobia of cats, or it could be a dog, or
yeah,
little,
like
little
clowns and stuff.
clown.
And
Yeah,
can
I
you
never do that.
imagine a clown dressed, and a little person combined?
I didn't. My first stripping act ever was a stripping clown, and I never realized people were so afraid of clowns. And I was like, I didn't do a whole face paint, but I pulled balloon animals out and did horns. I did funny stuff because I wouldn't do the cop act at first. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
You don't
It's
want to do the
cheesy.
cliche.
Yeah, I didn't
you want to be
the
different.
cliche, and I didn't realize people had a phobia of clowns. And then there's I haven't seen her. There's a girl also works for Dakota Sky called BJ McNaughty.
Yes, I wanted to have her so bad at the Club in Buffalo because I wanted to meet her. I love her on Facebook.
Apparently she keeps her face paint on the whole time too.
Yeah, she's in the porno Gonzo Does Gonzo. It's like
really?
a gangbang scene, and they're all dressed up like clowns and
Oh,
everything. I'm sorry, I shouldn't know this, but I'm a little sick and twisted. I'm not afraid of clowns or midgets.
So I want Trish to bring her in because I'm just curious because I used to do balloons and stuff, so I can have a balloon off with her.
Yeah, Trist, you definitely should hire. I hope I know you guys are listening because I already threw this all around the area and everyone wanted it. But then all of a sudden, all those weird clown fears and scares and those lunatics doing all that stuff happened where we thought that might actually create problems at the time. But there's a massive interest. So just everyone kind of likes the interest of seeing a freak show. Like when Bridget the Midget's in house, like everyone comes. And years ago at 24 Karat, they had these two midget twins and they were like quite rowdy and do all this wild stuff. And it's a good time. I want to remind everyone to check out our Twitter. We're at Beyond the Pole. On Facebook, I have an awesome page that a lot of nurses and different, groups like Willow are using. And it's actually Cats, K-A-T, Cares. Cats Meow, KATSMEOWKARES. So Facebook that. And it's all like empowering positive quotes, is information on psychopathic, narcissistic, and sociopathic relationships. But everyone can relate to it, including it doesn't have to be personal. In like a dating relationship with a husband, it's also family mother relationships. And it's always okay to cut off a toxic, negative person in your life. Even if it's your mother or your father, you don't have to stay and deal with it. You can let yourself be free. There's so many girls I know who are like severe victims of molestation and different abuse and everything in the industry, and they feel obligated and they like, it's my family. Get away from them. You're really that bad. Don't keep being pulled down. Your family's a bunch of alcoholics or addicts and you're struggling with sobriety. Step away. They're not good for you, and you have to do what's best for you long term, as long as it's, healthy. I'm not saying if it's negative, but I'm sure you kind of agree with that. We're getting close towards the end, but I want to remind everyone again that to check out our Facebook page, our pages, your personal one. Check out Playmates. Check out Tally Ho in Rochester. We're going to have a box and collect donations there at the club. I absolutely love the people there. Ignacio's the owner. Danielle, she used to be a manager out at the club in Buffalo. And she's a wonderful person with she's just hysterical, great personality. The club's really turning around, it's running well. I like working with them because they're a company that's building. They're going to be taking over the plaza. He owns Taylor's nightclub, and we're going to be having our launch party for Beyond the Pole is going to be at Taylor's in Rochester. I'm working on the date now with him, and we're really excited. We got a lot of people. It's going to be a great time. It's an awesome club. It's in Pittsford. They got like 3 different areas and different styles of music. It's been around for years and years. Great time, tons of parking. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff. You can meet pretty much everyone who's been on the show. We got a lot more, and I think I'm going to get some different features and stuff too, just for fun, just, tasteful, classy, great time. Why not? So we have another song, the final one that I selected, and it's Casey Jones by the Grateful Dead. It's just a fun, upbeat song. That's a classic that everyone knows. Welcome back to Beyond the Pole on WRFZ-LP 106.3 FM, RochesterFreeRadio.com. We're on podcast. You can check it out. Our show is usually uploaded by Tuesday at RochesterFreeRadio.com/podcast. We're Beyond the Pole. I'm hustler model Katrina Lee. I've been on Jerry Springer and all different shows. You can check them out on Facebook and online. And we got Bailey and Zeus in the house. One of my favorite male entertainers who well established in the area.
13-time nude entertainer of the year, BaileyExoticDancer.com.
Check him out and support him. This show actually, I was quite happy. It went smooth. Very good. No issues. I'm looking forward to next week. We got a lot of really awesome guests upcoming and planned. The show's growing. Our listener base is growing. We're expanding into multiple areas and regions pretty much all over the United States. And we're even be going to trade shows in Las Vegas and doing different things. So I'm just really excited about the direction. Plus, we get to make a difference and help people. And there's nothing better than that. And I'm amped, nothing better than... We are part of the Veterans Radio Network, the Armed Forces Radio Network, and TuneIn app, Rochester Free Radio. Anything else you want to say?
Actually, I am trying to get a little bit of a mail review going in Buffalo. So if there's anybody in Rochester in the areas that's kind of built, well, at least be built and decent looking, I can have some entertainment value. I can kind of teach you the rest. because there could be some opportunities out of the areas or even at the new clubs like Trist or some of these places.
Oh, that'd be great. You know, Joe, he's on the show right after this. I think he would love to be a male entertainer and a dancer. It's right up his alley. I think, oh my goodness, he's going to be so excited. I know it. And I bet his girlfriend would like it. He's dying. He's walking right now. Like, oh my gosh. But I like dedicate this show to Shar. I love you. We're doing amazing things with Butterflies releasing it. And we're going to let everyone know about when our party and everything is. And can't wait and look forward to seeing more and more of everyone. Thank you for tuning in and check us out next week. Thank you.